Lovely. Yeah, it's really
Okay,
lovely.
let's read.
Yes,
Yeah,
it shows. Yeah, we are live now.
you're live
So
now.
that's amazing. It shows they're live on Facebook.
Oh, that's really
I
fast.
like the prompts. I like the prompts. Yeah.
Oh, that's really very fast because on my side it's still loading.
I see. It says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Yay! Hooray!
So we are here.
Hello, parents. Thanks so much for waiting for us. And I know that we are supposed to start at 11 o'clock, but due to some technical glitches, we have to delay a bit. So thanks so much for being here. And today we have this wonderful lady, and her name is Olive, and she is the founder and English language coach of Oh Lively English. Yay! I got both names correct. Hooray! Yeah. So thanks for being here. And Olive, welcome to this
Thank
Facebook
you.
Live.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
Yes,
It's so nice to be here. Such a privilege. Thank you.
yes, parents. And the reason why I have invited Olive is because I'm not sure about you, but I can really sense her energy and her enthusiasm in teaching English. And that is up to you to tell me at the end of this Facebook Live. Yeah, so Olive, would you be able to tell us more about how you started off teaching English? And I know that you also teach many international students.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Well, actually, it was very accidental, how I started teaching English. I was actually working in the corporate field. I was in, a few industries, pharmaceuticals, retail, right, and then sales, education. And then one day I went to the Philippines. And what happened was I was in this place when I was just teaching about some stuff. And then after that, the person from the base camp is supposed to come and fetch me back to the base camp. And then like I was waiting like, hey, why isn't he here that yet? But then all the kids surrounded me. So I'm like
Wow.
in my heart, like, hey, go home, I'm very tired. I had to sleep overnight there in order to teach them in the morning, right? So I'm thinking, hey, go back. And then, but they wouldn't. And so what I did was, okay, I entertained them. We had songs, we had dance, I did for them, they did for me. So I was teaching them. We were having a very great time. Then when I came back to Singapore, I had this revelation. I'm thinking, wow, maybe I have a gift of teaching. Yeah.
Mm,
So maybe I have this talent. So I thought, okay, why don't I again do some checks? And last time we don't have Google, right? So I have to
yeah.
like go and find. And then I found a very wonderful teacher who was teaching me speech and drama.
Mm,
And then I did it. I was like, wow, this is so enjoyable. I'm thinking, why didn't I do this much earlier? And then about many years later, I went to do. Then what I did was, because my goal was, I actually always wanted to like really encourage adults, and help them in their life. Yeah, because most of the time when when they're, even though I'm teaching English, but the heart of the matter is always a matter of the heart.
wow, that's so
Yeah.
nice.
So I just felt that, okay, what can I do to help them? Yeah. So then I found that one way I could do is teach myself to teach. So how do I do it? Well, learn from children. you know, Children are really, really wonderful. Children will teach us how to teach, because they
Mm,
are not adults, right? If you are like boring, they're like, they'll listen to you. But kids,
mm.
they're boring, they run away already, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I told myself, okay, so I'll start with kids. So I taught reading, phonics, speech and drama. What else? I jump around a lot. I just have a lot of fun with kids. Yeah, and then of course later I went into the schools and I was teaching English enrichment programs like storytelling, public speaking, oral communication. Yeah, just having a lot of fun with that. And then I realized that yeah, this is something that is really very good. Yeah, so around 207, I think I went to take a TESOL course. At that time was
Mm,
TEFL. I took the lower one, which is a teaching of English to, foreign as a foreign language. And then
mm.
when I took it, I said, "Wow, this content is so good. Why didn't I
Wow.
do this earlier?" Again, it was another revelation. And then shortly after that, I got to work. I was doing this program on workplace literacy. Yeah, so I
Mm,
was like, wow, and I was like relating with the students. Many of them are from the heartlanders. Yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
would travel to Hougang, I'll travel to, everywhere, different parts of Singapore just to teach. And I really loved and enjoyed what I did. Yeah, and so I went
Do
on to
you
do that.
do
Yes.
you want to tell us more about the TESOL? Because I have done my own research and it requires a very long period of commitment to receive the
Yeah.
certification.
Yeah, we have to go through about, I think, 120 hours of teaching. So I first did the
Amazing.
TEFL, then I did the TESOL. So yeah, because I wanted to upgrade myself. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, we have to learn about the whole thing about the language, what's English language, and then of course we also have a section about how to teach and how to teach the different four skills, So and then after that we have our practicum. Yeah, and then but most of it is done, I think learning comes when you're doing it. So a lot of the time it was teaching, and then I get feedback, and also because in my area of work it was quite fun. I was teaching, and then after a while they asked me to go full time. Yeah, and then I was like helping other trainers and other teachers, and I was very privileged because like I think I'm just one of the first eight in Singapore to get trained by CASAS. CASAS is an organization in LA. Yeah, and so they come all the way to Singapore, and then they train us for like 2 whole weeks intensively. Then after that, it's all
Awesome.
online learning, online, and then submit all the stuff. It took me a very long time to finally get that certification, but it was very good because the content was so good to empower other teachers and trainers, and to make our training more lively and more
Mm.
relevant to our learners. Yeah, so I'm very privileged to have that the opportunity. Yeah.
Can I just jump in quickly for a short while? For parents who are watching, and I know that there are a few parents there, post a yes, and if you can sense Leaves energy and enthusiasm. Yeah, and the reason why I want to share this is because when I first met her, I actually didn't meet her. I didn't see you in the room. I actually hear your voice. Then yeah, so when I hear your voice, it makes my head turn. Well, who is this? Yeah, and I
Really?
think from a very young age, I shared with you when I was in grade 5, I didn't do so well in English, and my English teacher actually labeled me as hopeless. So I can still feel the emotional scar now.
So
So
painful.
so it actually attracted me to people who can speak and very articulate, but also on top of that, bring a lot of life to the lesson. Yeah, so I can imagine how my life would have changed if I have a teacher like you when I was younger.
Yeah. But John, you're not the only one. That happened to me for the Chinese language because I really struggled with Chinese. When I was first very young, when I was born, when I started to speak, it was Malay, right? Because we are Peranakans, yeah. And then I
Oh,
was fostered out, so my foster parents
yeah,
are also Peranakan, so we all speak Malay.
sure,
Then when
sure.
I went to school, then I spoke English, and of course I struggled in Chinese, and then
Mm.
and then I didn't have a good experience with my teachers there. I'm like, wow, then they throw your book now. Then
Aiyo.
and I was like, I tried my best already. And
Mm.
yet, I still didn't do it well. So
Sure.
I was really a very late bloomer. Yeah.
Mm.
So my advantage was that my parents being English educated and all that. So my mom, she focused on my spelling
Mhm.
and always corrected me when I spelled wrongly. And then my dad, he will cut me off in the middle of my storytelling. I would say, Daddy, Daddy, yesterday my friend called me. I said, what are you saying? Your friend what? You called you, not caught you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Then he spoiled my mood already to tell him the story.
Oh,
So
so he's correcting your English as you're
English
speaking.
pronunciation. Yes, as I'm
Wow,
speaking and as I'm
amazing.
telling him the story, I wish Daddy would just stop, let me finish my whole story, and then say, girl, and then change my and correct me. But
Okay.
yeah, my dad was like too excited to correct me. So that was that. And then because of the background, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I still felt that I wasn't speaking very well. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I got married, lo and behold, my sisters-in-law are all like English language teachers. So John, I know that feeling
Oh.
like, oh, I have to speak properly in front of them. It's like
Stress,
I'm so
stress.
nervous. Yeah. So I told myself, no, I'll just be myself. And
Yes.
then, the pain point came
Okay.
when sometimes I say certain things to mom, my mother-in-law, and she said, Olive, you said this. I said, Mom, no, I didn't say that. I just heard you say this. I said, no, Mom, I didn't say that. So it's like what I was intending to say didn't come out right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
in communication, we learn, right? And then the listener heard something else. And so she thought my intention was different. So it was very
Mm.
hurting. And it happens
Mm.
to my husband also. We also miscommunicate,
Oh.
because then I realized that it was something to do with the way I speak. Because from young I'm very energetic. So I speak very, very fast. And I don't care what you say, this is how I talk. So I learned that no, I have to learn. So because I became caregiver in 2011. So in 2013, I learned from a very, very good pronunciation teacher, right? And then she assessed me and then she corrected me. And that's why, having very, very good trainers and teachers will inspire us really, as teachers. And that's how I got into it. I realized that, some of my students, they are, whether they were younger ones or adults, they may be very good in their grammar, their reading, but when I ask them a simple question, when I try to converse with them, they don't know what I'm saying. So I realized that, and this is the area that I really want to help and really want to empower them. Yeah, because if you are able to speak well, as in especially those who work in MNCs, and you have to be able to be globally understood, right? So what I want to say is that your accent, even your Singaporean accent, is actually very special, and that's you. So don't think that, oh, I must change to American accent, or I must be like, European. So then you feel very stressed, but John, just be you, all right? Just be who you are. Yeah, because when we speak naturally, in fact, I was putting that in my slides, how to speak naturally, right? So it's like, just be yourself, have that intention, and it will come out, right? Then the only thing to tweak would be how to speak clearly, all right? So one of which was my fault was I dropped all my N consonants. So I told you, right? N
Yes.
consonants, that means like the D and the T sound. That's why I said I will tell my dad so excitedly that my friend called me. Then he said, "What? Your friend called you, right?" So I'm pronouncing it wrongly, and that's why I misunderstood. Right? Yeah. So when we learn the right way of pronouncing, then and also we slow down our pace, right? And then we open our mouth, because Chinese, we do not need to articulate so much, right? We don't have to open our mouth. So we're actually speaking English, but to English native speakers, what are we known as? We are known as mumblers. They don't understand what we say.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so I had that problem when I had Caucasian friends and they came from overseas, and there was, sometimes we go out and makan and together, right? We have that good time. And I realized that I'm not being understood when I have to repeat myself, not one time, but 2 times and 3 times, then I know I'm not being understood. Why? Because I'm not pronouncing correctly. So that's why I went on a journey to discover the tricks. And then I realized that as I was helping my clients, I realized that actually it doesn't take very long to be able to speak well. Yeah, because you just need to learn certain technical things. And then once you're aware of it, you start to hear other people speaking that way very naturally, very clearly. And then you realize, like, for example, I never say month, I never say the TH sound. I would say man, MOND or something like that. I don't pronounce it. And then once I learned it, I became conscious of it. And then when someone says it, this month, and I'm like, wow, I heard the TH sound, Yeah. And then I realized that I became aware of it. And then once you become aware of it, then slowly you will change. Yeah. So the thing is, the key is in listening, being aware of it. And then once you listen more, and they're like, oh, okay, that's how you learn. And that's how we also improve our vocabulary that way, actually. Yeah, so it's quite amazing. It's very fun, actually.
Yes, I can really sense that. Yeah, now I got to pronounce that. Am I right? Oh dear.
Just be relaxed, relax.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just want to point out some of the things that I also want to hear more from you. Yeah, about the intention, as well as I heard you saying, in your experience, you used to not pronounce the
And consonants.
Yes, that's something that I'll be very interested to know as well.
Yeah.
And I also very amazed when you share that we, being Asian, we do not open our mouth wide enough. Yeah, so would you be able to give some examples? Then you can move on to your slides, because I think you have so much more to share. And I remember that you actually prepared until very late, right? So I really want you to share everything. Yeah, I want to get a lot of things out of you today, because I realized that, well, English can be so fun. Really, really. I mean,
Yes.
probably after that, I will ask you how you can coach me.
Okay, why don't we look at the slides? Then because I had something that says that English is fun.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Just share. I know I will shrink down. Let's see. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So for parents who are watching this while Olive is trying to share screen, feel free to ask any question, because I know that there are 6 of you watching this right now. Yeah, and the reason why I'm doing this is because while we have built a very huge math community, you realize that many of our kids are not necessarily poor in math. Probably they do not really understand the English words, or how the problem sums are phrased. Yeah, so which may even boils down to probably not being interested in English at all. So that's why I really want to grab hold of this opportunity to get Olive to share. And I think there's besides her sharing, I think you can really sense her energy. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So let me. Yeah. Please continue.
Is it being shown on the screen now?
Yes.
Wait, hang on. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
There is this ant crawling on my spec, and I think
I know it happens to me too.
Yeah, and I think it wants to learn English as well. Yeah.
Oh, I put out some pictures. Look at this. This is me in India.
Okay.
Yeah. So being very animated with the children there. It's a lot of fun, when I taught them. And this is Chinese, and this is the Philippines. This one really humbled me. You see, they hang.
Do you want to go to all like a full screen at the bottom?
Yeah, that's right. Hang on.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
go back to
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot in the presentation mode.
Yay.
Okay, so this was me in India.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I wore this. Oh, so lovely. They gave me this very nice sari thing. Yeah, so I wore this.
Lovely.
Yeah, and then I was really, the children really touched my heart, and they really teach me. They taught me a lot of stuff. I learned so much from them, and this was me in China, and we had a good chance to teach teachers there how to teach their children. And then this is me in Philippines. Like I was saying, this place, you see, they actually they hang their clothes there. Yeah. So on the day when I went there, they just converted it quickly into a classroom, and then got all the kampong children, so-called, to come. And I was really very excited to share there. I really miss all these opportunities to go. Yeah. And then teaching is my gift to the world. I feel that I'm an agent of change. Yeah, and that's where the love of the language is there, and then I just felt that it's something that it's like what I can do to help solve problems. You talk about problem sums, right? There's so many problems. Yeah. So that's my gift, right? And also teaching is learning from children. I just wanted to show this scene because this is my husband's hands over here. He's learning sport stacking for the first time. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, and then this is his trainer, is this boy. He's 8 years old. Can you imagine this through Zoom? So this boy is very professional. No, he's got the all that stuff, everything set up. And then his little brother also was coming along to teach us.
Wow.
Yeah. So really
amazing.
learning, teaching is really learning, really learning, and humbling ourselves, learning from the kids. So even as parents, right? When you see the children, sometimes you think that, you should tell them, you should listen to me what I say. But no, kids can teach us so much, right? Like I remember I did one exercise, and we played with, I think maybe I just use this example. I asked them, what can this be? Let's find 20 ways of what this can be. Then one of them said, rocket. I was like, wow. How imaginative and how creative children can be? Yeah, so when you're teaching your kids, right, don't just download things to them. Ask them, elicit things from them. They have a lot of ideas, right? And they have so much creativity. So I really enjoy children. Yeah. So this is just the kids. We moved on to, okay, what I do now, I'm actually helping a lot of professionals improve their job performance and secure so that they can secure future career opportunities or business opportunities. Yeah. And so it's like their dreams that they'll be able to better support their family, you know, and then help them to be successful and become the person they are really proud of. Yeah. So I recall just recently, one of my ex-clients contacted me, and she's from China. And she says that now she's been promoted to a director. Then I'm like, wow. Yeah. So 3 years ago, I taught her. And then she did get help from other English language teachers. But she said, because what I taught her in a very short time, like we only had like maybe 9 sessions together, very intensive. And I helped her in the pronunciation, in her presentation skills. And after that, you know, it's like she kept doing it, and, you know, and because she's good with her content and her intention is very strong. So even though her English is not perfect, but she's being understood, right? So that brings us to the next one, which is communicative competence. It's like when you communicate something, and if the person understands you, even though your English is not perfect, you are understood. Yeah. So we don't have to be so afraid. Oh, I don't have the right vocabulary. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to pronounce this. But look at your audience. Who are they? Right? If they understand what you say, then you are successful in what you do already. Yeah. So the thing is not to be afraid. And really not to be afraid. Yeah.
So when you say intention, so would you be able to share exactly in the previous example, what is the intention behind?
I think we have to think. You know, it's just like what do I want to say? So you think through first. That's your intention. Right? So yeah, so the intention is very important, because like in fact recently I was taking a course from a man who was a DJ. Yeah, and he told us how you know, about the voice. So we said, so Mr. DJ, can you I love your voice. Can you please teach us? My friend and I said, can you please teach? We had a Zoom session with him, you know, we said, dear so and so, can you please teach us how to have that wonderful voice? And he said, no, I'm not going to teach you that. Then we're like, why? Because he said, most important is your intention, right? And then when you speak it out of your heart, you know, and your mind, it comes off well, right? So, but if I'm going to teach you how to do all those things with your voice, what happens is that you may even injure your voice and your vocal cords, which is actually a very important, you know, organ. Yeah, it's so important to us, right? So he told us that it's your intention. What are you trying to communicate? Make it very clear. Yeah. So if that is clear, then you come across clearer. Yeah. So I want to move on to the English language, right?
Yes.
It's a beautiful language with an interesting history.
Yes.
And it's also a borrowed language, right? So let's play a little short game. What is the common thing among these 6 English words? Just a quick riddle.
It's a test for me.
Yeah.
Oh, stress already.
Stress, okay.
Yeah.
Now these 6 English words.
Can I try?
Yeah, sure. They are all English words.
Okay.
But what's common about them? Okay, the clue was, the clue is in this slide.
Borrowed language.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, borrowed language. That's the clue.
Wow.
Right?
Team, don't know.
Team. Okay, so don't worry about the word. Bungalow is not an English word. It's borrowed from, guess where?
Bungalow. Ayo.
The bungalows are those huge houses. So it happened so the history of it. So if you know history, that's like quite fun. No, it was in Bengal. It's a Hindi word.
Wow.
Would you imagine that when I first found it, it's like, wow, this is fun. Yeah, if you go popular, I think there's a book that talks about the root origins of words. Wow, you look through it, it's really fun. I don't know when I have it in my life, but it's really, really fun. Yeah, it's a bungalow. It's those huge houses that the people in Bengal, if you Google, right, yeah, they will tell you the history. They built for I think the Europeans, so it's those huge houses, and then they call it bungalow. So and then it became an English word. So language is something that evolves, right? So cartoon is let me check. It's an Italian word. Cookie is a Dutch word. Ketchup is Chinese. This one is like totally new to me when I found
ketchup.
Ketchup and karaoke. Guess karaoke is what?
Japanese.
Yes, Japanese, correct.
Yeah, because I love to go Japan.
Okay. And lemon is Arabic.
Really? Oh
So
my God.
interesting, right? So
Yeah.
that's why we are not think that it's just so boring, but if you look into the fun part of it, right? Yeah, it's of course this slide could have been nicer if I put all these pictures, Yeah, so the thing is that it is a very interesting language. And I tell my students sometimes why you struggle with English, you need to understand the why, right? So if you understand the why, then you don't feel so bad, right? Because English is a borrowed language. Imagine 29% from Latin, 29% from French, 26% is Germanic, 6% Greek, and 10% others like Banglo, for example.
Oh.
No wonder. If this word is spelled this way, why is it not pronounced this way? Why? Because, like, uh, I'm trying to think, chair, and then Chevrolet. This is the soft, it comes from French, so it's softer, chair. Yeah, but if it's a German word, then it'll be character, something, the CH become K. It's very hard. But if it's French, it's Chevrolet, the brand of the car. So it's like, once you understand that, because English origins, it came from all these other languages. And that's why sometimes we get confused, right? Why is it pronounced this way? Why, when it's spelled this way, why is it not pronounced this way? Right? So like rough and tough and I forgot, I should have done that check. But you see, once we know the background, then you don't feel so bad. Realize that, okay, it's just something that you just need to learn. It's okay, right? Don't beat yourself up so hard, because it is a borrowed language, and that's why it's not as easy as we think sometimes. Yeah, but yet
Amazing.
because it's borrowed, like when you have fun at time, you can find out all these words, where are they from, and then it makes it interesting. So you remember the word, right?
Well, this is
So we're
so
talking,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. So we're talking about speaking naturally. Yeah. So I was saying just now, we need to own our own accent, right? So I'm Singaporean. The main thing is that I must be understood, right? And then must have an intention, must be bold, right? And then you must relax. So how do we relax? How do we open our mouth? Next slide. Our speech organs, because like when we speak Chinese, we don't really open our mouth and we just speak like that. It's very easy and we don't understand what we say, And but in these are all these areas, all right, our tongue, our lip, right, then our reach, just inside here, the palate, all this, and vocal cords. These are all our speech organs. So we need to like warm them up. So sometimes this is what I do in my typical lesson. I'll have my students do this.
Okay, I need to do
Yeah,
this now.
Yes, and we just need to relax our shoulders. Yeah, we just kind of, and then do funny things, It's just like warm up our head and neck muscles. Yeah. So I usually do this in my lessons, and the students are amazed, like after that. And then what we do next is we learn to do deep breathing. And this is so, so, so important. Why? Because if you're going to meet your boss and you're so nervous, what do? You do a deep breathing, even where you're sitting, even you're in the lift, doesn't matter, anywhere. Yeah. So I teach my children this, especially those students going for oral exam. You know how scary, right? You go for oral English exam. Then they give you the paper, then you sit here, then after that your friend is there, then like, oh, like then you become sweaty and cold, and then your mind blanks out. Usually you're very good, but suddenly you're blank out. Why? Because is the brain, is how the brain works. Yeah, because the amygdala, or the back of the brain, the emotional part is fired up. And when that's fired up, then the logical part, which is the prefrontal cortex, right, is kind of like shuts down. So you cannot think logically. So, because they're too emotional. So how do we overcome that? This is a very, very powerful technique. It took me quite a long while to learn this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just breathing in. And it's not clavicular, it's not, it's not. I used to breathe, teacher say, breathe in. No,
Yes.
it's breathing in. It's like, when you see a baby lie down, and then when the baby breathes in, wow, the diaphragm just expands so nicely. I love to see children when they sleep, like they breathe in so naturally. And then when they cry, wow, it's
A
so
lot of air
loud,
come out.
vocal. Yeah, it's so loud. Yeah, so likewise, we need to learn. But the problem is that as we grow old, then we start to hunch, then we start to
Mm.
stress. Yeah, and then we breathe wrongly. And sometimes I catch myself that, right, I'm very busy working, or even busy cooking. And then I'm like, I'm not breathing. So I have to stop, just breathe in and out like a few times. Expand the rib, expand the diaphragm, hold it, and then breathe out.
Will you be able to like stop sharing your slide first, because I know that you are doing the exercise. It's fine, because I think that this is very important, and this will help many P6ers because their PSLE oral is coming, and I can remember the time when I was so stressed out and I was so nervous, and I do not know how to start at all. Yeah, so
yes,
and
please then you'll find that you get clammy and all that. So right, so I'm going to stand a bit back, right? So when you breathe in, you just, actually the side, here cannot see. Right, so you just breathe. As you breathe in, your stomach is supposed to like expand.
Yeah, you can lower down your camera if you want, just for this exercise.
Yes. Okay, like that. So I'll go to the side.
Yes.
So when I breathe in, it's like almost I'm pregnant. Then when I breathe out, it just flattens. When I breathe in, it expands. When I breathe out, so you can do this standing up, you can do this seated down, and then when you are waiting for your turn, just keep doing deep breathing, and then it will actually calm you down. Yeah, it will calm down your nerves, and then you'll be able to remember all the things that your teacher taught you, right? And be able to do it. Yeah, but when you're nervous, then how do you know that you're nervous? When you start to feel very cold, hands, clammy,
sweaty palms.
Yeah, sweaty palms, and then very dry. The throat is dry, and then you you kind of panic. Your heart like beating quite fast like that. No, sometimes you're so nervous you feel like your heart is coming out of your mouth. Right?
Yes, precisely.
Yeah. So the way when I notice that for myself, sometimes when I need to meet a very important person, a very important client, then I told myself, actually, I have it. Wow. Why so afraid? The person is just another human being. So just relax. So I will do deep breathing to just calm myself down. And this also works when you cannot sleep at night. Yeah. So doing this, maybe you can count to 20, do like 20 times. Yeah. So it really, really works. And I learned this from a psychologist who's actually a trauma specialist. Yeah. So in the course that we went, my friends and I attended.
Wow.
And then he taught us about this breathing. So the next day I asked my friend, his name is also John. I said, John, so how last night you counted until how many? He said, I don't know. I think I count to 3, and then the next thing I know it's in the morning. Then I'm like, really? In the morning already. I said, oh, you're very good. I think I counted maybe 40 times. I don't know. It's like, wow, it's that kind of knockout already. So just do deep breathing. It is a very, very good skill. And if you are a singer, once I was with my friend and then she's a singer. Wow. And she told me to put my hand on her diaphragm. And when she breathed in, right, it's like, boom, boom. I said, wow, her diaphragm is so strong.
Pom pom means what? Sorry, pom pom means what?
No, I put my hand on her diaphragm, on the tummy. And when she was breathing in and out, it's like, her diaphragms are so strong. It's like as if it was like punching my hand.
Wow.
A very good singer, yeah. And so when she did that, I said, wow, that means her muscles are so well trained and so well developed. Wow, then I said, wow, then I'm very weak. Mine is like nothing there, like pillow and so soft. So I realized that this is an area that I have trained myself. And therefore, when I need to activate it quickly, I can do it. Why? Because I already have it. I've been training myself. Yeah. So for all my clients, right, I will start this exercise right from the first or the second session, so that when they continue, by the end of the course with me, they would have at least learned, maybe not yet mastered, but at least learned this technique of deep breathing. Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still growing in it. Yeah, I'm sure I've got so much to learn and grow, but I found that this has helped me a lot to calm down. Sure. And parents, do it even with your children at all times, anytime. In fact, there's once I remember I went to see this doctor, And then she had a timer, you know. Then suddenly I was talking to her. "Dee, dee, dee." I said, "Oh, what's that sound?" And she said, "Oh, it's time for me to breathe. Come breathe together with me." So I'm like, "Oh, like that." So actually, she was teaching me a very good skill in her consultation because she wanted to do it herself also. So while she was doing it, she also did it with us. So I'm like, wow, I'm so impressed. So you see how powerful that technique is. Simple, doesn't cost you anything. Nobody can see you doing that breathing exercise. Yeah,
Yes.
so you
Yes.
can just practice it.
Can I just jump in quickly for a while, because I really like what you're sharing, and I'm sure many primary sixes parents are watching this, and they will be wondering how can they help their children to cope with the oral anxiety. And just to let you have a few, I think we all went through like an exam oral. First, you have to wait for your turn, and then that's when your anxiety start to go up.
Let's go up.
Yeah. Then later you go to a seat with like a picture or something, or they watch now I think they get more high tech. They watch a short video
Video.
clip on a laptop.
Oh.
Then the anxiety will stand. Yeah. Then I mean probably I'm the only one who felt that. So I'm just trying to recall what I went through. Then later when they call for your name, to go up to two teachers who were like, oh my god, this is like the 100th kid. Yeah, they're like, yeah, yeah. Then they frown. But probably they're tired or they are just exhausted.
Yeah.
But being a kid, like, oh my god, is it I'm boring her or what? Then suddenly, oh my god, then I got climb up. Yeah. Okay. So long story short, so what are some of the actionable tips for the children? And I think it's very important for them right now. What can they do during these few stages?
Yeah. So I think that's a very, very wonderful question.
Yes,
it's so real. Yeah. I think what we can do is number one, do deep breathing. Number two, start to visualize, use visualization technique. All right. Visualize yourself, okay, walking there, smiling at the teacher, pulling out the seat, you know, sitting down. And then, hello, Miss Tan, or whoever, I don't know how you address them, you know, you just address them, being very polite. Just visualize yourself going through all that steps. Right? So that is one technique, visualization. The other one would be the tense and relax technique. That means while you're sitting there, you can start really, really tensing up. So you can start from top to bottom.
Okay.
Right? You know, you like kind of tense up everything, and tense up your shoulders, and tense up your arms, your fists, everything. And then as you tense, it's called tense and relax. Then you just kind of relax.
Let go.
Yeah. So you can actually do it from head to toe. Right. So first you think about your head. All right. I'm tensing up my head, my eyebrow, everything. My ears, everything.
Okay.
And then I slowly let go. And now my shoulders, my neck side.
Tense up again, is it?
Slowly let go. I mean, it's just like you can work it down, you know, and then your waist also you can like be very tense and then slowly let go. And then the buttocks, you know, tense it up, the glutes, you know, the glutes maximus, and then really let go. And then your legs, tense it up and let go. And then the feet and the toes. Yeah. So, or you can do it backwards also. Yeah. So it takes quite some time to do this, about 2 minutes. So as you do it, you already start to calm down. How do you feel now, John? Do you feel a bit better after doing that?
I think I felt better. Yeah. And I'm just wondering, when should a child do it? And children, don't do it when you are already watching the video clip or picking up the picture. I think, in my opinion, the best time to do it is when you are called to the group of students to wait for your turn.
Yes. Yes. So you can start doing that. And the thing is that you cannot wait until oral, you know, the time, the PSLE oral, to try and do this. This is something that you need to activate your brain to do it. So you have to start doing now. You know, so you start today and then tonight and then tomorrow. And then by the time you come to that, you will be experienced, in doing it. So that when you come to a situation when you are tense, or you notice that you're tense, you're being more aware of your tension. Then you can start telling yourself, okay, I need to relax. Yeah, because if you are tense, then even your throat muscles, everything, your vocal cords, right? And then you will get very tight. And then when you speak, you're like, you'll be clearing your throat and then all that kind of stuff, then it doesn't sound good anymore. Yeah. So, and the other one is vocal drill. I do it in the morning when I wake up. Right. Of course, if you do it with the other friends, they'll laugh at you because you spit a lot of saliva. One way is you the children are very good at this, okay?
How you did this? Sorry, how you do this?
Okay, if you can't do it, you just press
like that?
Yeah, then very itchy and then a lot of saliva on my laptop now.
And I have to clean my webcam now.
Yeah, so you can go do re mi fa sol la ti do something. I know I don't look very pretty when I do that. But yeah, after a while you may just like want to press. Or I will hum my favorite song a song of the day. For me, when I wake up in the morning, I have a song of the day, right? So like fire engine. Kids can do this better than us,
Yeah.
And I remember teaching my children that the kids during the lesson, and then they wouldn't stop. And I said, can you please stop? It's enough already. You warmed up enough already. Yeah, and then of course drink water. And water, when you drink, it must not be cold water. Okay, it mustn't be cold water. That's gonna or too hot.
So what's the optimum temperature?
Room temperature is best in our room temperature. Room temperature. Yeah, nothing cold because it will constrict. Sometimes we thought, someone's thirsty, we give them a cold drink, but no, it actually makes it worse.
Sure.
So, and also do not whisper. If you whisper, you're spoiling your voice.
Already,
yeah. So don't whisper. It's not good to whisper.
But during the oral itself, the teachers always encourage us to whisper.
Really?
Cannot talk.
But they don't want to disturb somebody else there? Is it?
I think so. And the school will be like total silence. Yeah. Okay. So that's a wrong move for children who are going for their oral. They shouldn't whisper, they should shout. They should do this.
No, don't shout, but just speak. Maybe you can speak softer.
Yeah.
Sure. But don't whisper. It's not. I learned this. It's not good for the throat. Yeah, because what's important is your voice. That's a very important tool that you have.
Yes. Yeah. Let me just ask you one more question because I think it's a common thing for young children. They love bubble tea. Yeah, and probably before they go for their oral exam, maybe mommy wants to cheer him up. Boy, let's go Koi or Gongcha. Okay, parents, this interview is not sponsored by Gongcha or Koi. It's just an example, okay? Don't later say get coupon, the one. I don't have coupon. Yeah, so maybe, like parents out of good intention, okay, I see that you're so tense up. Why don't I just go and buy 1 cup of Coke for you, for example? Yeah, so in our opinion, how should this be done properly if moms still want to encourage the child?
I think make sure it's not super cold, where there's so much ice in it. I don't drink bubble tea, so I'm not so sure. But but I'm not sure about the sugar content, whether you'll spike up their blood sugar level and then they will drop after that and then they'll feel very lethargic. So I don't know, I wouldn't quite recommend that. Maybe later after the oral. But before that, I wouldn't want my child to be like so hyper after that and then very stressed, having that hyper, then go there, then and then cannot perform. So no, I think I would just go for water that's room temperature and hydrate. But then of course don't drink so much, and you have to run to the toilet because you're so nervous also. So these are just the considerations.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't drink too much also.
And this reminded me of another thing that as adults, sometimes when we also get anxious before we present or go for a meeting where we have to talk a lot. And people like us tend to prepare like maybe Starbucks coffee, kopi or tea to keep us awake. But I also remember that it may create phlegm and affects how we talk. Yes, could you share with us more on that?
I think it's the sugar content. I'm not so sure about caffeine. I think it brings you on a high. But
Hey, meeting!
Yeah, I got strength. But I think it's the sugar content. Yeah, that would actually create more phlegm.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you want to clear your throat, and then you feel like when you want to say something, and then like you'll be clearing your throat, and it's very irritating. It's very hard. Yeah, especially if now everyone's doing online. If someone clears their throat, wow, it's very painful for my ears. Because I'm using the headphone thing. Yeah, so got to be very careful with that. Yeah.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah. So maybe we can move on to how to speak clearly. I'll just kind of share.
Yes, yes. As Olive is sharing, I just want to point out to the parents. I think our teacher here is not just an English coach. I think you should give yourself a name like a vocal coach as well.
Vocal coach.
Yeah,
Okay.
something that I think that you can definitely help even singers.
Oh, okay. All
Mm.
right. Yeah. Yes. In fact, I found that when I was doing some music, or what do you call it? I was recording myself to
Uh-huh.
sing some songs recently, and then I realized that, because I'm so nervous and I don't know the song, and I keep drinking water. Yeah. So it's like, yes, I also have to practice it on myself, and then I can't sing clearly because I'm like so tense up here, and then you're so dry. Yeah. So, okay, going back to speaking clearly,
Yes.
yeah, it would help also. One way, right, is to understand, is to listen to English. And I think the easiest way for me, especially for kids, is to listen to songs, English songs, good English songs. And then you are aware of the sounds of English and the rhythm of English. And then when you speak, of course, you have to take care of your pace. Yeah. So songs are a very powerful tool. When I went to speech and drama, I was thinking, hey, I love the song, and then I love the poetry, right? And then because of that, that's why I said I should have done speech and drama much earlier in life, right? Rather than going to the corporate world. But I found that music and is something that is like, for example, if I want to learn a new language, if I learn the songs, and I get interested in the songs, and then slowly from there, I break down to the vocabulary. What does the song mean? What is this word? Yeah, and then you slowly know how the rhythm or the words and the sentences should sound, right? So then you have a natural rhythm. Yeah, because being aware of that is listening skills is so important, because once you're aware of that, when you hear, then you can reproduce it. But when trying to like force upon you, that kind is very tough. Like I will teach sometimes initially when I taught my students, no, you pronounce it this way, this way, this way. Then after that, it just goes to the short-term memory, right? Then the next week when we meet, I forgot everything already, Yeah, so the way to do it is very natural. And that's why parents, when the baby's actually from the womb already, if you're singing, and the child will hear, you singing. So you can sing Chinese songs, English songs or whatever. Yeah, and then just sing so that they will, get it into themselves, right? And then we talk about nursery rhymes or even certain jingles that kids can learn, right? And then they'll get used. Then of course you have nursery rhymes are very powerful. Oh, where's my one? Okay, sorry, it's pronunciation. Yeah, what kind of sounds? Meaning like vowel sounds. That of course this is a technical part. Of, all right. Oh yeah, John, I want to ask you. Do you know how many vowel sounds there are in English?
Oh, stress. Yeah.
What did we learn in school? How
And
many
I thought
vowel sounds?
that sorry, and I thought that this is going to be a stress-free interview. So end up,
No, John,
it's
just
fine.
just
It's
ask
just a
you.
joke. It's just a joke.
In school, how many vowel sounds will be taught?
Okay. I hope I will pass this test. A, E, I, O, U.
Yeah, correct. 5, right? That's what we taught. But actually, I learned now. No, there
Huh?
are 20.
I taught the wrong stuff since young.
Yeah. So I
Oh
want to show
my
you this. You
gosh.
see? 20 vowel
Wow.
sounds. Yeah. So that's why we were only taught 5. And that's why we cannot pronounce properly.
Yeah, I think there's
So
something very wrong
20.
with how we were taught since young.
Yeah. So parents,
Aiyo.
sometimes I think you think about sending your kids to phonics. I think phonics is good. But I was teaching phonics for a long time.
Sure.
And after a while, I said, there are some gaps. I don't know what is it, but there's some gaps. It's not right. It's not right. I'm not getting through to my kids. And then I realized that no, actually, if your school teaches phonetics, it's a powerful, powerful tool,
Sure.
right? Because once you learn phonetics, you can use apps like this one. Macmillan has a sound app. You can use it in your phone.
Okay.
Yeah, once you know the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA, sorry, it's a bit like blocked here, but you will hear the vowel sounds, the consonant sounds, then it makes sense. And therefore, you can, if there's any word that you do not know how to pronounce, you can teach yourself. Right? You don't need to ask somebody else. It's not so embarrassing anymore, right? You can learn yourself, right? And just by, later I'll show you some resources that you can use to help yourself. So this is how I grew, you know, and this is how I learned myself as an adult. Like I said, I was actually a very late bloomer. Yeah, I didn't do well in school. So I was playing a lot of time in school and always going upstage to give speeches and all that kind of stuff, you know? But not really studying, you know? Yeah, but the thing is that if you have IPA, once you know this, I'm not sure whether it's taught in P6 or Sec 1, but I think it's more like it's not part of the main curriculum, but I've seen it in some of the books. Yeah. So if you can master it, wow, you are really one up, because that means you can read any word, yeah, by just looking at IPA. And that's how I taught myself. Yeah,
Wow.
so I'm really, really thankful to my husband's ex-boss. He taught me this. His name is Peter, and he taught me this. And when it's like many years ago, I bought this book. Yeah, this book, Better English Pronunciation. Wow, it's really amazing.
Probably you can show that later after you go full screen, because I really want to take a look at the book.
Yeah. So what I was saying is expose them to nursery rhymes.
Can I just go back to the previous slide on the vowels, because I'm very interested, and I can't believe that I'm only taught like a quarter of what is supposed to be there. So can you just bring us through like which one is A, I, O, U, and how do you pronounce the rest of the vowel?
Okay. So actually, so for this is the long vowel and the short vowel. So it's E, U, right?
Ooh.
This is a schwa. Many words have a schwa.
Wow.
So I know it sounds like whatever. And then this is actually like a what do you call? It's actually two vowels together.
Okay.
So like A, this one is
A.
So actually it's not A. It's not just A. It's A. It's actually the A-E sound. So A. And this is ear. Oi.
Oi, why you didn't do homework?
Oi.
Oi, why you didn't do homework? Oi. Parents are very good at this. Oi.
Then this is O. You know the
why you fail again?
Yeah. Right. So and then all these will be the consonant sounds. So in the consonant sounds, there are, let me just go back, there are voiced and unvoiced. So all these are the technical things. Of course, when you come to the lesson, then we'll teach you.
Sure.
Then, and also, if you know where to stress and unstress words and sounds, then you will sound so much clearer. Yeah. So, and Singaporeans, we don't know how to stress. So that's why we don't sound very clear. And we sound so Singlish. We speak Singlish, right?
Can you give an example? Like,
for example, we don't say, like I'll tell my dad, yesterday, my colleague tell me, this is how we speak, right?
Okay.
So you should say, yesterday, my colleagues, not my colleagues, not my colleagues, my colleagues. My colleagues, yeah. Yeah, and then, for example, a noun and a verb. A noun would be like, for example, the word, okay, we are having a recording, right? So we can say, I want to record, you know, you stress on record my voice, right? So John, I have, this is the record. This is the record, right? So noun, you will stress on the first syllable, record, right? But if it's a verb, you will stress on the second syllable, so record. Yeah.
Wow.
So just one example of word stress. So many times we are using the wrong stress. So like, for example, if you want to say, we don't say examination, you say examination. Anything before a shen, You just stress. You just remember anything before shen, Tion, Sion. You stress the syllable just before shen. You will sound very clear.
Examination.
Examination. Yeah. Then you sound more atap.
Yeah. What about this? What about this word nice? Because I think that I was corrected by someone. It's not nice, it's nice.
Nice.
Am I right?
Yeah. So what I do is whenever I'm not sure, I will do this. Let me show you my tool.
Okay.
Wait, hang on. I will go down to this one. You see number 3?
Wow.
2 phonetics. Yeah. Or even the first one, Google Dictionary. You just put N-I-C, nice, and then you put M. M means for meaning. So the minute it comes up, you will actually see on Google how to pronounce. And then, of course, you can press on the sound and then you can hear. That's why I say if you know IPA, one look at it, you'll know where to pronounce, where the stresses are, and you sound more clearer that way. Yeah. And you can teach yourself. So I teach myself. Can I just excuse me a minute? I'll just show you this book I have.
Yes, please, please.
This is my little notebook. Of course, you can do it. You can do it digitally also.
Do you mind if you stop sharing screen so that we can see this book and then also the previous book?
It's just a notebook. So what I want to share is when you expand your vocabulary, use a notebook, right, or mobile phone for every word that you don't know. Write it down. And if you can, of course, once you learn IP, you can write it down and the pronunciation and the meaning. And what's important is always, parents got to make sure it's not just a new word that you're learning, but how do you use a new word? There's no point if you have a new word where you do not know the context of it. Yeah, so use it in a sentence. So the best tool for me to do that has so far been number 6, Collins Dictionary. The simple sentences are very good. I like that. Yeah. So, and I think they are British English, American English and all that. So it's very, very helpful. Yeah. So these are the online resources that, can help you. So all my students, when they come online, I teach them how to learn. So that they don't need very many lessons with me because I teach them give them all these tools, You problem with your grammar, just go to, download Grammarly onto your laptop. It will help you to correct. Sometimes I type wrongly or I'm thinking too fast. And then it just prompts that's a different color comes out. Then I say, how come? What's wrong? And then I look at it and say, oh yeah, the grammar is wrong. Yeah, so just or the spelling is wrong. It's very easy. So there's so much tools that will help us nowadays. It's not difficult. Yeah. All right. So that's about it. Yeah. If you want to contact me, this is my email address. Yeah. And my company is called Lively because I wanted to call it Lively English because I feel that English should be lively and fun, right?
Yes.
So, and then someone asked me, what's my name? I said Olive. So we make it Lively, although my name is Olive. And John, you did so well in pronouncing my name correctly.
And I have my tricks to do that.
Wonderful. I have been called Ali before. Right. Yeah.
Would you be able to share the 2 books? As in, and I know that one of them is your resource book and the other one is your notebook. Just to share, because
someone gave me this grammar notebook. It's just a blank notebook. So what I did was, because I'm still very old school, I like to write. So I wrote down. I filled up like 80 over words in this little book, and then I started a new one, and I just learned some new words. So every week I'll come across some new words, or sometimes I pronounce wrongly. Like I've been pronouncing, I will tell people I'm an entrepreneur. Then I'm like, oh, that's not right. It's entrepreneur. It's a French word. So the stress is on ner. Entrepreneur. Now I'm like, oh, is it? Is that the way it's pronounced? Okay, so now I change myself. But because I'm so used to saying it the way I've been pronouncing it, it will take time for my brain to process a new way of pronouncing. And so this is my tool. So I write it down, and then once I hear someone say it, I become aware because I've written it down, and it kind of jogs my memory. And then after you hear it a few times, then you find that you can reproduce what you hear. And so once you can reproduce what you hear, after a while it becomes automatic, and then you will start speaking clearer, or at least those words. Like I no longer, I will catch myself when I say my colleague. I'll say my colleagues, all right? So colleagues. So you stress. How do we stress? We stress by bringing up the pitch, my car, all right? And then it's louder. Yeah, and then you stress it. Yeah, so my colleagues, and then the rest of it you unstress, which means it's softer, and and you bring down lower the pitch. Yeah, so that's how you unstress. Yeah, so it takes time because your brain is so used. Like some people like to say now's the day, now's the day.
Now's the day.
Yeah, nowadays.
Oh, nowadays.
Now, I don't know how they pronounce it, but now's the day, now's the day.
Okay.
Now's the day. People are blah blah. It's nowadays.
Nowadays.
The S is at the end, not after the NOW. Yeah. So because if we are not aware, we will keep saying the wrong thing. Yeah. But when you start being aware, then you hear it the right way. That's why parents, if you can give your children good nursery rhymes, good books like Roald Dahl, and then hear good songs and all the English songs, even movies. You know how I improved my English when I was young? Because my parents were all Peranakan, so we speak a lot of English. And so, but my mom loves to watch Chinese movies on TV. And so, but because we don't understand Chinese, right, we cannot follow the plot. So there the subtitles. So you know how I improved my English is because of the English subtitles and not my Chinese. Because I'm like, Daddy, what's that word now? I don't know this word, Then I'm always asking my dad, and then he will scold me. He said, can you please go and check your dictionary? Then I'm like, I must get up from the sofa and then walk and get my dictionary and then check the word. Wow, very troublesome. But that was how I was trained from young.
Yeah. And I noticed that when you are pronouncing nowadays, it sounds to me like you are singing, and there's so much grace in it. Yeah. So I thought that I'm not sure anyone told you about it. It's like you make the learning so lively. Yeah, which is why I think it really resonates with your company's name.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Then there's a thing that I want to ask you. So when you're looking back, yes, I think sometimes we don't like our parents to tell us to do things and that. Yeah. But now, as a sharing about your growing up experiences and talking about how your dad was pretty strict. Actually, he's very strict on all these things. Yeah. So what are your thoughts about it when you look back in your life?
Yeah, of course, I'm very thankful. It only struck me about 5 years ago that actually all of us, my siblings and I, are all in, communications. Yeah, all trainers. I didn't realize that, because it's like, well, just grow up and then grow our separate way. Then one day I said, what are we doing? I'm like, also, I think because my dad passed away and then at the eulogy, right, we all had to give our eulogies. Then I said, wow, we all can speak. So we owe it to our dad because he was very strict on that area. And although he was a very private man, but I think he wanted us to speak well. Yeah, and he loaded us, with a lot of resources. Yeah, he loves Reader's Digest. So he will always, and then he will always buy all those write better, speak better books. Right. So it's like we have a lot of stuff just lying around at home. Yeah. So sometimes without really teaching us, we're actually just picking up. So I think it's the environment that even, doesn't matter. Even like, you said you didn't have a very good background in English, doesn't matter. It's never too late to learn. And then for your children, I think just instill the love for it. And sometimes it just gets like osmosis, right? It just gets absorbed. Yeah, without very hard sells teaching. You want it to come very relaxed. So especially for kids, that's why the younger you start languages for children, the more. In fact, I learned that in a research, they say that kids below 6, their brains actually can absorb a lot. So if you expose them to as many languages as possible when they're young, it's good. It goes into the brain. So that's why for me, I have some Malay, some Chinese was very negligible, and then it's English. But of course, if your parents speak Cantonese or Hokkien, all right, all the other what we call dialects, but actually they are like Cantonese is a language by itself. So speak to them, they will absorb all these. So they'll have the mother tongue, they have all these. So you want to throw in some Japanese and Korean, it's okay. The kids won't get confused because you're actually expanding their brain cells to absorb all these different languages. And then they can code switch when they want to do it.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also want to add on that, in my opinion, as a father, now you see, I'm very conscious when I talk to him. Yeah. Father, okay, doesn't matter is right or wrong, but what matters most is the intention.
Intention, yeah.
Yes.
Because we communicate, it's like, it's I can feel it, see from you. So that's most important, not just
thanks.
perfect pronunciation for that word.
Yes,
Then you stress yourself.
Yes, and now as a dad to 3 girls, and I can really understand like why your father do that for you. Yeah, because as an educator myself, I think if I look for a tutor for my child, I want to find a genuine teacher who walks the talk at the same time. Yeah, so I think it's something that I want to show the parents as well. When you look for a tutor,
Yes,
do not just look for a math tutor. Look for a math tutor who genuinely loves maths and can inspire your kids as well. And talking about English, now very conscious.
It's okay.
Look for someone like Olive. Because I think that if I meet somebody like you when I was younger, I think my English will be super now, super. We are Superman. Yes.
I must learn math from you. You know how I struggle as an adult when I don't have strong math skills. Yeah. So, in English, if you speak well, I think the world kind of listens to you.
Yes.
And you articulate well. And actually, the main thing I realized is the boldness. Yeah. And then because your intention must be strong. Like, for example, I used to do my hair at this place, and this hairstylist. After many years, one day she approached me. She said, I've been noticing you, I've been observing you. Can you teach me English? And I'm like, I think she didn't know that I was an English language teacher. Yeah. So, of course, but I realized that from that day, right, she never spoke to me in Mandarin. She always speaks to me in English up to today, whenever I'm there. Although it's quite broken, but it's okay. Because her intention is very strong. And because her intention is strong, I in my brain, right, I will like code switch and like, okay, I just get the main vocabulary or what she's trying to say, and then I try to think in a Chinese way, and then I know what she's saying already quite quickly. Yeah. So actually, I also wanted to share with parents that we are, as Singaporeans, we are non-native English speakers. But do you know that in the world there are like 360 million native speaking, English native speaking people, but there are 1.2 billion or there's so much more people speaking English who are non-natives. And non-natives can get along well with non-natives because we can kind of code switch, we can kind of understand, even though we may not have the perfect intonation, perfect speech or words, but we can understand. So not to worry about that. Not to be, you can speak English bad English perfectly well.
Wonderful. Yeah, okay. I also pick up some of the things that you have shared earlier, and so okay, I can share this with the parents before we do a wrap up. Okay, so let me just go to, and if you have any more resource to share with the parents, please let me know as well. Is this a book that you have recommended?
No. Oh yes, the origins of English words. Yeah, this is one of them. Yeah.
Right.
Although I saw, I'm not sure this much. I can't remember the author's name, but it's something like that. Yes, it's so interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
because you can click on it and you can, there was one I saw that has even the pictures on it. It's so good. I must get the title. Yeah.
Sure. If let's say you happen to find them, just feel free to let me know, and I can just add on to your post. Yeah.
The other one is if you want to talk about pronunciation, this is a very old copy. Is sheep or
please hold on. Please hold on. Stop sharing. Yes.
Or sheep.
Sheep
or sheep. Yeah. So this has to do with the vowel sounds. Ship, and sheep. Yeah. So the trick is to lengthen the long vowels. Yeah. So like for example, you tell the student, please take a seat. Please take a sit on the seat. All right. Please take a sit on the seat. All right. So a sit is a small e, the small e sound, and then e. All right. Please take a sit on the seat. right? Oral exam, right? Please take a seat on the seat over there.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah,
the teacher will get it wrong as well.
yeah, we all say, please take a seat on the seat. We're like, huh? What is it?
Sit there, just sit there.
Sit
Yeah,
there,
can you
sit
see the
there,
seat or
sit
not? Sit there lah. Why you so lost on? Sit lah.
Yeah, so that's our English. Okay.
Okay,
So
great.
the resources will be very useful. Use a thesaurus, use the Collins dictionary, use the two phonetics, you can even like put a whole sentence in two phonetics. A very good app. And then I found that you can actually see how to pronounce it, and you can actually click on it and they'll pronounce it for you in British English or American English. Oh, that's wonderful. It's a very good app. So
Wonderful.
there's so many things that we can actually empower ourselves by using the correct apps. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes, and you mentioned about dictionary, and I just want to share with parents. In fact, I have watched this movie, and I'm not sure how accurate it is, but it talks about the creation of the first 10,000 words in the Oxford Dictionary, and
Wow.
probably can share with me whether how true is it based on your experience, and is this movie, and I was like amazed
Wow.
by the story, how this professor actually he's a madman, or this professor actually met a madman who used to be a professor as well, and how he got the entries, and he's able to come up with many words, and he's compiling all the English words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so interesting. This is new to me in terms of this movie, so I'll check it out. But in our TESOL training, I think we have a compilation of like the first 1,000 words most commonly used, and then the next 2,000 words and the next 3,000 words that are most commonly used in the English language. Yeah, so if our students can have like grasp of this kind of number of words, it actually helps them a lot. Yeah, so we make sure that from this category of words, we find it into like storybooks or into their lessons and all that, then they will get familiar with the words. Yeah, and a lot of it is not just nouns and verbs, but it's also like articles, prepositions and all that, so they must be familiar with these words. Yeah.
Yes, and it's also from this movie that I learned the origin of quarantine.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
and
Interesting.
yes, and it was mentioned in the movie that quartz is sense of 4 or 40.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so when this word was first created, the the people in Italy was quarantined for 40 days. That's why it links
Wow.
to quarantine. Okay, I can't explain it very well, so let me just show you what I found out. Yeah, so in the
Wow.
mid 17th century,
Yeah.
from Italian,
Yes, yes. This is what I mean, the Google.
mm,
Yeah, so it gives you all the background, and you can see how frequent the word was used and how whether it's a popular word in our century. That's very good.
yes, and please correct me, quaranta, or how to pronounce this?
I'm not sure. Look, I can see. Yeah, quaranta. Looks like quaranta.
Quaranta and quarantina.
Wow. Wow.
And this is a very common word now. Yeah,
Oh,
because
is
of
it
COVID.
quarantina? Oh,
I
because
mean,
it's an Italian word.
it's quarantine. Yeah, so it's a very
Yeah.
common word now,
Yes, yes,
right
yes.
now.
Yes, yes. Because language evolves, and then some words are not used so commonly, and some words are used more commonly after a certain time. Yeah, so that's why I thought the beauty of English language is that if you look at all the history and all the how it evolves, it's so interesting. Yeah, so I think if we have that interest, then the language will come more naturally. But if you've got like a hindrance or blockage, then it's very hard, right? So we need to let go of that, relax, and as we learn when in a very relaxed mode, then it goes into our long-term memory, into our brain, and that's what we want. Yeah, because if not, the children will be like studying in the short-term memory, and in the and if you just it just cannot recall later on, right? Because they are learning in a very hyper tense mode, right?
Yes, and I really like what you shared, and we realized that how fast time flies. And
Yes, yes.
by right, it's supposed to be an hour, but I think it's already 1 hour and a half.
Wow, really? I can't see the time here. Okay, amazing. All right. So
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So,
yes,
so I
yes,
think that you shared a lot of tips, and I think for the parents probably they also want, yes. So while all the tips are very good, so what is one tip that they can use for their children? And I think right now, PSLE oral is coming soon. So what is one tip that you can share parents that they can use
relax,
right now
relax.
to score more points? It's always to score more points.
Okay, I think it'd be to relax because they would have learned a lot, but there's no point you can't recall if you're tense. Yeah, so breathing techniques very important. Yeah, if you can master the deep breathing, then anytime you can activate that breathing technique, then you can recall what you learned. Yeah, because if not, you're cramming everything, you won't be able to recall. Yeah.
Okay. So parents, and you have heard from Olive, the number one tip is not to memorize this word or their word or to buy one book. First is to relax. Yeah, because if your child is all clamped up, and the teachers can sense it, and it will affect their judgment, and probably give you lower marks.
Yes,
Yes.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
All
Because
right.
when they're
So,
relaxed, they will also be kinder and they'll be like more, courteous and all that. So all that adds to your whole demeanor. Yeah.
awesome. Okay. So,
That's great.
this is a question that I will always ask all my guests. Well, I think I'm very conscious now.
What?
No. Just to make sure that pronounce the T, the. Okay. Yeah. So okay. So now, right now, as you look at your own life, you have so many tools and knowledge when it comes to managing the PSLE. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. So right now, if I may invite you to walk down the memory lane, and as you walk, you meet the 12-year-old Olive. Yeah, so, and you can see her body, you can see her face, and you can even almost feel her or touch her. Yeah, so what would you tell her when you see her?
Yeah. I think I would tell her not to worry. Yeah. Don't be anxious. And just because everything that you've studied, you've learned, or even if a lot not learned, don't try and cram the last part, right? Because you're going to tense up yourself a lot. Yeah, I would just say, Olive, just be relaxed, be yourself. Yeah, don't try to be like your friend also. Just be yourself.
Awesome. Yeah. And allow me to add one more thing, because and I caught that you shared about the similar experience when you learned Chinese in school.
Yes.
Yeah. And if I'm and a friend next to you, probably I'll whisper into your ear, telling you that do not be bothered by what he say, because he has yet see the English expertise that you have down the road. Wow, I think what I'm trying to say is he didn't recognize that. Yeah, and there's this thing shining in you, and those teachers who didn't recognize that, you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that when the memory of something is bad, like for example, last night I was just thinking maybe I should ask all the Chinese language teachers how to help me, because tomorrow I have to go to the market and tell a guy, hey, I left the chicken at the market, I paid for it, I forgot to collect. So I have to go and say all these things in Chinese, how to say, how to say correctly. So it's just communication. I need it in life. I need it even my daily living, because I was so tense that day, so focused that day on buying some flowers, and I forgot to collect the chicken. Okay, find a way.
It happens to me as well.
The chicken. I will call and say and speak in Mandarin. It like, okay, how am I going to say? Even that stressed me up last night. I'm thinking, I better text our friends, all our teacher friends and Chinese teacher, and say, can someone help me? I'm going to record my voice. This is the story I'm going to tell the guy to redeem back my chicken. So I think we have to overcome that fear. Yeah, and then I think we're just being ourselves if my intention is strong.
I want my chicken.
I'll get back my chicken. Yeah.
Yes. So did you manage to get back your chicken?
I'm gonna go. Now it's too late, so maybe tomorrow morning I'll go and try.
Okay.
No, let me practice my Mandarin first.
Yeah. 我要拿回我的鸡
我要拿回我的鸡 okay then you give me one dangling chicken.
Or you can show the chicken. Hey, I want my chicken, I want my chicken. Yeah, but I think that most Singaporeans and even though the stockholders may be Chinese speaking, they will be able to understand. Yeah, because I'm sure they have also they have customers who are non-Chinese as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
so I
shouldn't
think
be so afraid.
yeah. So before you go about 10 meters away from the store, do your tense and relax. Yeah, then
Yes,
visualize.
practice what I preach.
Yeah, visualize when you go up to the store,
Okay.
the uncle is able to recognize you and say, "Do you leave the chicken?" And he's speaking like fluent English.
That's true.
Wow, then it may dawn on you that, hey, why I get stressed so much?
Yeah, then all my anxiety, yeah, no need to be so worried. Yeah, right.
Probably I think they really have good memory and they'll
Yes.
remember like, hey, actually this lady, yeah.
True. Yeah.
Okay, so
So nice chatting with you, John, and I hope I have added some value to all
a lot of
the
value.
parents out there.
Wow,
Yeah.
a lot of value. Yeah.
Okay.
So parents, don't go off first. So I will stop the Facebook live streaming. Yeah, don't go off first because I have something to ask you. Yeah. So parents, I hope that you have gained a lot of value from here because what Olive has shared literally blew me away, and has changed my perspective towards learning English. Yeah, and plus because of your energy and your enthusiasm, and I can now understand that, hey, actually all your students really benefit from you. And I think they don't go to you to learn the English, they go to you to be inspired to learn English.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, the inspiration is the key word.
Yeah, correct.
Key word.
Keyword. That's the keyword. Yeah.
Okay, great. So parents, I'll see you around the Facebook group. So take care and
Okay,
goodbye.
thank you. Thanks for watching in. Bye.
Bye. Okay, let me just